It's a much colder night out there. Temps have dropped more than 30 degrees since 1 this afternoon. 30 degrees. A lithium battery, you can see there, exploded. Ever since that date, they've been going down. If you want to learn more about this, where can you go to find out? Because that's a lot to digest.
And Willard realizes that.
Now take a look behind me here. See that ladder? There's a blue light on the ladder. There's plenty of security here. In fact, that camera will follow you as you approach the front door. They're taking questions now after 2 days of anxiety in Lewiston, Maine. 2 days of looking for the man believed responsible for a mass shooting. The governor is saying tonight, we are breathing a sigh of relief. Now the model numbers are printed down here on the bottom of the unit. These sold from November of 2020 through October of this year for about $70. Here's a close look at that strap. What, I got a 1 in 3 chance. Let's go B.
You sure?
I am not sure. No, let's go
Let's eliminate
C.
B. Yes.
Okay.
There you go. See ya. 2005, the wettest Halloween here in Springfield.
The smartest person in the room, help me out. Joe Hickman explains they're calling attention to issues around men's health.
All right, boss. I'm coming back to work with a whole new look.
I was surprised by that with Joe there. 2017, it's been a while. Lisa says I should do it again. Speaking of Lisa, next here at 5, it's Buddy Check 3 Day. First at 10, investigators say the man suspected of fatally shooting 18 people, wounding 13 others in Maine, is dead. The Associated Press reports it's believed that Robert Carr died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He'd been wanted in connection with the shootings at a bar and bowling alley in Lewiston, Maine. We're monitoring a live feed of an expected news conference there in Maine. They are not quite ready to go. When we do get new information from that news conference, we will bring it to you right here on the news at 9. It's a much colder night out there. Temps have dropped more than 30 degrees since 1 this afternoon. 30 degrees. Meteorologist Nick Kelly joins us now from the First Alert Center with a look at where they're going to bottom out overnight. A warning for small pet owners tonight after coyotes have been spotted across Springfield. And it's not just in less populated areas. Neighbors say they're seeing them in subdivisions. Lauren Schwinker tells us when they're most active and what you can do to protect your pets. Well, the Missouri Department of Conservation says the coyote population is increasing throughout the state. They are most abundant in the grasslands in northern and western Missouri. An Ozark County landlord is facing felony weapons charges after shooting at his tenant in Theodosia. The charges against James Reed include armed criminal action and harassment. Investigators say Reed shot at his tenant with a rifle during an argument. The shot missed the tenant, but it hit their vehicle. Reed is being held in the Ozark County Jail tonight. The charity organization Hope 929 broke ground today on a project they're calling the Getaway Harrison. The goal is to build affordable housing, a call center, and a community resource center. Michael Hoffman joins us now with a look at the group behind the project and the challenges they'll face. Springfield city leaders are out with recommendations to improve housing and neighborhoods. They include increasing home ownership, providing tax relief for seniors and the disabled, adding sidewalks and bike routes, and increasing street lighting. It'll be up to city leaders and city council to decide the next steps. Other results of the study and the list of recommendations, you can find those at ky3.com. The Springfield Police Department wants to make sure you're safe and not facing frights on the road this Halloween. If you're heading to an event like the Halloween pub crawl, here's the advice. Do plan a safe way to get home. That may mean you designate a sober driver, take public transportation, or use your favorite ride-sharing app. You can also call a sober friend or family member to get home. Gas prices are down across the country. You can see the prices peaked right here. This is September 16th when they peaked, and ever since that date, they've been going down across the country. They're down about 40 cents a gallon in the last month there. If you look at prices around this area in Springfield, a lot of stations have dropped below $3 a gallon. You can find some stations, a handful at that price, $2.87, including the Conoco on South Campbell. And Nixa, you'll pay some more. You'll pay $3.11 to fill up per gallon. If you're heading to Branson, several stations there are selling regular unleaded for $3.19 a gallon for, again, regular. Across the border, down in Harrison, Arkansas, a little bit less there, $3.14. Remember, we get these prices you're seeing right here from Gas Buddy where you report what you paid. There's a new speaker in the House, but the same challenges remain. How leaders plan to avoid a government shutdown next. The newly elected House leader has just 21 days to reach a deal on a funding package to avoid a government shutdown. Washington Bureau reporter Brendan Cullerton interviews several lawmakers about the path forward. Meantime, the Democratic leader is calling on Republicans to take the threat of a government shutdown off the table. The Missouri House Ethics Committee met behind closed doors today. They spent 4 hours at least talking about what they called a personal injury matter. The meeting comes as Republican House Speaker Dean Plocher is under scrutiny. He's facing calls from within his own party to resign. The backlash is tied to allegations that Plocher took thousands of dollars in state reimbursements for campaign spending. He reportedly took them at least 9 times going back to 2018. Now, Plocher admitted the reimbursements happened, but he says they're part of an accounting error. He's since repaid the money, but many Republicans in the House are calling for the Ethics Committee to step in. Plocher also faces scrutiny for allegedly acting inappropriately to nonpartisan staffers. It reportedly happened as he pursued a state contract with a software company. No official complaint has been filed against Plocher. He says he does not plan to step down from leadership. Governor Mike Parson has ordered all U.S. and Missouri flags to fly at half-staff starting tomorrow morning at dawn. It's to honor Army Specialist Brian Snowden of Kansas City. He's one of 2 soldiers who died earlier this month when their military transport vehicle flipped in Alaska. Snowden became a soldier in July of 2020. The flags will remain at half-staff until sunset. Well, authorities in Maine are starting a news conference right now on that mass shooting and the finding of the suspect dead. Let's join them right now. They're taking questions now after 2 days of anxiety in Lewiston, Maine. 2 days of looking for the man believed responsible for a mass shooting that left 18 people dead, 13 injured. The governor is saying tonight, we are breathing a sigh of relief. The police chief saying Robert Card, the suspect, is dead. The Associated Press is reporting that he died of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. They have not addressed that during this conference. If they do, and we have new information on that, we will bring it to you. Meantime, we have a cold, wet, and dreary weekend ahead of us. Nick Kelly breaks down how much rain we could get the coldest day of the weekend and the chilly night ahead for trick-or-treaters. Nearly 8 decades ago, a Missouri man joined the crew of a B-17 Flying Fortress. It soared into Germany to attack a factory. Well, the plane crashed that day, and 4 men died and disappeared. Here's the story of a man who remembered the missing overseas until he saw a mission accomplished.
We're here today for Melvin Bernard Meyer.
Most stories start at the beginning.
We were able to find him, and we brought him back home.
This one begins with resolution, one 79 years in the making for Melvin Meyer and his family. To understand the journey, we have a guide. You might call Jess Hoskins the historian of the Yankee Doodle Dandy. 10 men started the mission in 1944 on a B-17 bomber, including Jess's dad.
My father was underneath the plane in what was called the ball turret. Melvin was right in the nose of the plane. He's the bombardier.
On that May day, German fighters attacked the lead aircraft. 4 wrestled to keep the plane in the air long enough so the other 6 could survive.
So I heard about these guys as a kid, and I learned about their sacrifice.
It wouldn't be until 2012 when the military discovered the crash site of the B-17 Flying Fortress, the Yankee Doodle Dandy. From there, the remains and the artifacts were shipped to Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska for identification. For the military's forensic anthropologists, the stitches on the boot are a clue, the Bible and the shiny metal on a shirt.
His navigator wings are actually still attached to his service shirt.
Dad said that it was deeply disturbing and saddened the crew to see the remains of their plane, but much, much worse, they knew the remains of their buddies were theirs in the still smoldering wreckage. When you go home, Tell them of us. For your tomorrows, these, yea, there, today.
We can rest in peace because we are the chosen ones.
Joanne Hogan calls Melvin Meyer my daddy's brother. She remembers the kind guy helping other kids. He became the guy who sacrificed so much so others could live.
I think it's absolutely marvelous that all these men, all these people do all that work to get these men home.
This is mission accomplished. He's home.
For Melvin's family, this brings answers to 8 decades of questions. For Jess Hoskins, it's a chance to honor his dad's memories of 10 men.
Wow. Service, loyalty, dedication, sacrifice.
We're told that B-17 crew named the plane the Yankee Doodle Dandy after they met the famous actor James Cagney. Cagney had starred in the film of the same name.